Welcome to our BioWorld presentation. David and I decided to visit the Ontario Science Centre.
So the Science Centre was located at 770 Don Mills Road. Its hours of operation are 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday and 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on weekends and holidays. The student price of admission is $16, and we have provided a link to the website, which also contains useful information for teachers and students.
As well, the information that is most important that we found is the amount of supervisors that should be present when you visit the Science Centre. It is 1 adult per 10 students for elementary schools and 1 adult for 15 students for a secondary school. So we decided to cover the grade 9 academic science unit for biology sustainable ecosystems. We found that on our visit we were able to satisfy the specific expectations, which were using appropriate terminology related to sustainable ecosystems and analyzing the effect of human activity on the populations of terrestrial and aquatic ecosystems.
So upon our arrival at the Science Centre, we were informed that the exhibit we originally wanted to look at, which was the human body exhibit, was actually out of commission for the moment, as they were renovating the exhibit, adding some new content, updating the image, and they had given it a new name as well, the Human Edge. And the staff member that informed us of this actually offered to do an activity with us as a means of consolation. And so what we did was he had Tammy estimate her waist size using a piece of string, and then he showed her what her actual waist size was and the proportion of her waist size to her neck circumference and her wrist circumference, the length of her forearm compared to the length of her foot, and various other body proportions. So basically this was showing how the human body is generally proportioned, and it was actually a very interactive and fun activity that you could perform with your students.
We also found it very helpful that there were so many staff members around. They're wearing colorful outfits, they're very fun and knowledgeable, and super well-rounded. This particular gentleman related a science activity to an artist named Leonardo da Vinci, who was drawing the human body proportions during his era. So we decided to visit the Rainforests and Ecosystems exhibit, where there were many hands-on activities that could help a student understand and analyze what is being conveyed to them at the time at school. So here we see an acid test machine that allows the students to see and control the amount of rain gliding over the different environments, and a meter that indicates the pH, so whether or not the rain turns more acidic or basic. The two environments here that we are looking at is granite versus limestone.
So over here on the left, we have a depiction of trash being compacted in a landfill over a period of several years. This is meant to illustrate the serious effect that garbage, human waste, and pollution has on the environment. And on the right, we have a picture of the Living Rainforest exhibit, which is a microcosm of a real rainforest. It has many of the native flora and fauna that you find in a real rainforest. The environment's very similar as well, as you have all the humidity and the heat and everything along with that.
So, since we do go to a tech school at UIT, we have been taught and showed many cool contraptions, such as a microscope that can convey information and project it onto a computer screen. So, as a teacher in a high school, it is useful to have this information to teach the students how to use it at the Science Centre. They had particular setups where students could take slides of vegetation and agriculture and put it underneath a microscope, which is being projected to a big monitor where students can look at the different stages of growth, such as here we see for corn germination from when it is a seed to when it is ready to be sowed.
So over here we have an exhibit on invasive species. On the left we have a picture of a poison arrow frog, which is native to many rainforests, and on the right we have a picture of several fish that were caught in local streams and creeks, which were probably released by people. These are non-native species, and this exhibit is meant to show what effect non-native species or invasive species can have on the local fauna and how it can have a detrimental effect on environments.
Yeah, and although it is not pictured here, we were able to learn about a very interesting exhibit where it showed the depiction of a young boy from Florida in the 70s who brought back 3 African snails smuggled in his luggage. And although he only brought 3 back, it turned out to be there are 18,000 of them 10 years later. So there were very dramatic examples to show the students, which I found to be very interest-rousing. As well, we continue to look on. Here on the left side picture is a hands-on activity where students are allowed to pull a weight that shows an average amount of waste being dumped by humans per week. And on the right, David and I are examining the permeability of water through different environments, such as through gravel or sand.
So thank you for paying attention to our presentation. We hope you enjoyed it. We enjoyed this field trip to the Science Center quite a bit, and we think it would be a very useful place to take a grade 9 science class.
Or for that, on that note, any other grades as well, because although we weren't expecting to visit the ecosystem exhibit, we found it to be extremely informative and very easy to understand with very helpful workers. Thank you for watching our presentation. Have a great day.